Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dorian Show. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and like and comment and all those other podcast platforms. Also like and subscribe there, guys. Of course, I do have a new blog. Please follow that. I wrote one recently about the uranium market at doriantrong.com. So please listen to me and read what I have to say because I need to feel important. Anyway, guys, I just want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. You know, a happy Mother's Day to your mom and mine. And if you're a mom yourself, I don't know why you're here, but happy Mother's Day to you as well. But yeah, what's new? Sorry I skipped last week, because I'm a lazy bum. But I have a lot of updates to tell you guys just about my life, if you guys care about that. I recently, and by recently I mean today, as I'm recording this, I gained 6 pounds in one day, and that's insane. And I've been losing weight up until this point, but yesterday I went to meet with a friend that I haven't seen in probably in 6 years since his wedding day. And since then, he has 2 kids. Dude, he's, of course, skinny, looking good, looking slim. And not me. And I was just like, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to have some deep dish pizza, some Detroit-style pizza. Pineapples do go on pizza, by the way. And also, I'll have some breadsticks. And that obviously is a terrible diet, but I was like, it's all right. I'll just eat this, and then I won't eat later tonight because, I'm a good boy or whatnot. But right when I got home from this delicious giant lunch, my friend hit me up. He was like, let's go get some Korean barbecue. And I was like, oh, crap. I'm on a diet. But then, sometimes you got to hang out with the boys, so I'm saying. And by boys, I mean just one boy, my friend, David. So we went and got Korean barbecue, and I ate a lot. And at the time, I was like, this is all right. It's not going to be too bad. I went to the gym between meals. I didn't do cardio, but I went to the gym between meals. And I think, like, at most, I'll probably gain, like, 3 pounds. And then this morning, I woke up. It was 6 pounds, dude. Oh, God. It does suck because I don't know if this happens to you all out there, but when I am trying to actively lose weight, which I have, do I look skinnier today than my last video? Do these boobs look smaller? Does this belly look smaller? I don't know. You guys decide. You guys comment below if I'm fat or not. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, it sucks when I'm actively trying to lose weight and I have, like, this weight gain from, like, one meal. And typically it's not a problem, but because I'm so heavy right now that I was losing, like, at least half a pound a day. And a lot of people might say, like, that's unhealthy, but I have a lot of fat to lose. Like, I'm probably, like, 50 pounds overweight. Right now, I weighed in today 234 because of the 6 pounds, and I'm trying to get down to like 185, 190. I think that's supposedly a healthy weight. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But the thing about, like, weight loss that sucks is, like, every day I see my weight dropping, and it's dropping kind of quick, right? Half a pound a day, half a pound to 1 pound a day. And then when I do, like, a meal like this or, like, a cheat meal when I eat out with my friends, sometimes it's fine, right? But, like, a cheat meal like that where I had pizza in the morning and then I went and gorged myself with Korean barbecue, I would gain, like, 6 pounds. And all I could think about while I'm on the scale the next day is, like, man, this is going to take me, like, another 2 to 3 days to get back down to where I was before this meal. And it just kind of drives me crazy. I don't know if anybody else have that out there. I think my trajectory is getting lower in terms of the scale wise, but dude, I'm starting to think, like, cheat meals aren't even worth it. You know what I mean? There's only there's only what 7 days in a week, and if you cheat one of the days, that's more than 10% of the 10% of your meals are bad, and it's probably not worth it. But I have to balance out like hanging out with my friends and eating at home, and to be healthy. And by the way, if you guys are wondering what's healthy eating for me right now, so lately it's just been eating 2 pieces of New York steak as my one meal a day. I eat at night. Two steaks, New York strip, probably between 1.5 to 2 pounds of steak. Worked like a charm, dude. I was losing weight every single day. But I don't know if cheat meals are worth it, guys. But it's hard because you need to balance out, hang out with your friends. Like, I don't want to just be eating like this for an extended period of time and like not seeing my friends, not being able to go out and hang with them. I mean, I could always just cut back at Korean barbecue, but who's gonna do that? That's insane. Why would you ask me to do that? So I won't be doing that. But yeah, I've been thinking about. I actually started lifting like heavier. I think I hit a plateau for maybe like a couple months now, maybe even longer, maybe even like 6 months. I'm able to do up to 225 on the bench press. Yes, you should be impressed. 225 is what, two plates on each side on the flat bench, and I'm able to do like 8 to 10 reps. Pretty nice, I would say. But then I realized if I want to get bigger and build more muscle, I would have to do progressive overload, which basically means I need to continue up the weights or up the reps. So I started doing that this past 2 weeks on like every exercise: squats, leg press, bench press, lat pull downs, rows. Like, I'm just trying to go for as much weight as I can so I could get bigger and hopefully be able to keep this muscle, keep the muscle I have as I start to slim down. A lot of bodybuilders think you need to like cut all your fat before you can like build muscle back up. But some people think like if you have a ton of fat on your body, you could still build muscle as you are dropping your weight because your body is using the fat that's stored on your body as energy. So I hope that's true. I haven't felt weaker. I've lost before this $6 weight gain. I think I've lost probably like close to 8 to 10 pounds. And I think I'll get back down there. Like this 6 pounds is not gonna stay for a long time. It's staying for a good time, but not a long time. But I'm not too worried about that. I am worried about getting down to my goal weight at 185 and just be skinny fat. Because I did that during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, I went from close to 300 pounds all the way down to 185. But in my head, I was like, dude, at 200 pounds, I'm going to be jacked. I'm going to be so ripped. You know what I mean? But I didn't have access to the gym, so I was just doing push-ups and sit-ups and squats at home. And lo and behold, I got all the way down to 185, and I still had so much fat on my body. It felt like I had like over 30% body fat at that time, and I think I'm probably at the same right now. I might even be at 40. I might even be at 40%. But that was really discouraging because, even though right now I'm like I have a lot of weight I need to lose, but because I'm my frame. I think my frame looks pretty good in terms of when I have my clothes on. I look bigger. I look like I work out. But when I was like 185, I looked small. Like my shoulders got smaller. My face looked like a cancer patient. I looked tiny, but like when I took off my shirt, I was still fat. So it was like the worst of both worlds. Like I'd rather be fat than skinny fat. Because right now, at least I look like a more substantial person when I walk down the street, which I like feeling big, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just what I've been thinking. I'm hoping I could keep a lot of this muscle or even save or even build muscle as I drop down to 200 and then 185. And I don't know if it'll ever happen. Part of me is a little worried because haven't really started taking weightlifting seriously probably until the past 2 years because I just had more time on my hands. You know what I mean? Like past 3 years, let's say, lifting consistently, but like not even progressing that much. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've wasted a lot of time. I was watching one of these like bro science dudes. I mean, some of these guys are pretty smart, and they say that throughout your lifetime, like you would only be able to build like 20 to 35 pounds of muscle. And I was like, what? My whole lifetime? And I already missed so much time, right? I mean, I probably started lifting on and off when I was in college. So I was 18, 19 already, but I wasn't consistent. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was just bench pressing like 135, and I was like, oh shoot, that's it. I've made it. And I wasn't really doing any of the other exercises, you know. And then obviously I'd start doing a little bit more in my 20s, and now in my 30s I'm like really into it, but I already lost like 20 years of when my testosterone was the highest and when I could really just build that baseline. You know, sometimes I wish like my parents would know some of these things when I was younger, you know, but I mean, I can't blame them. They were refugees, gave me a great life here in the U.S. For me to be able to eat steaks every night and talk about losing weight and gaining muscle is kind of ridiculous. How blessed my life is, but you know, I think, I just wish my parents have that knowledge. Like, I wish my dad would just pulled me aside when I was like 14, 15, and he should just be like, you need to start lifting weights and you need to lift very heavy. So like my life would be like way different if I started lifting back then. Like if I just got like real muscular, like it would be harder for me to gain fat because it takes more calories to maintain muscle than fat. Allegedly, I don't know. And I probably would have just had a healthier lifestyle, but whatever. I can't turn back time, you know. If I'm lucky enough to have kids one day, I think that's something I would do. I'll be like, once they start hitting puberty, boys or girl, especially boys, because, you know, you got that sweet testosterone going through their veins. I'll be like, you guys should really just start lifting weights now. It'll make your life a lot easier. You're just looking jacked out of your mind. But yeah, but anyway, it's better better now than later. You know, I mean, if anybody's watching this and and you guys have been thinking about going to the gym and start lifting weight and bodybuilding or whatever, try and gain muscle, like do it today. Don't wait till tomorrow, especially if you're a dude. Like, basically, when you hit 30, your testosterone level is just dropping every year until you basically die a wilted old man. Or you could take steroids, but you know, I'm not doing that because I would like to have kids one day still. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to lift heavier. You know, that's the one thing that's good so far in my fitness journey, I guess. Lately, I've been going to the gym almost every single day. I go to the gym more days than I don't. You know, I went to the doctor recently at Kaiser, and they're like, how many days do you go to the gym? I was like, most days. And they're like, what, like 3 days? I said, no, most days. Like I think right now I've been to the gym consecutively like 9 days in a row. And I don't know why I missed one. It's probably I had to do something or work was busy or had to go to an open mic and do stand-up. But yeah, the gym part is easy, but like dialing the diet is a little bit harder. It is totally on me. Like even if I go all you can eat with my boys, I could just not eat all I can eat, which is mind blowing. But at the same time, like I gotta do what I gotta do if I want to get jacked without taking the sauce, you know. But yeah, I'm trying to like reevaluate my priorities recently. I don't know who's listening to this at this point, but thank you for listening. But I feel like now that I'm older, I'm 36. I feel like I don't have a lot of time, and I don't know if that's like midlife crisis where I feel like I'm gonna die soon, which is probably true, but like I just feel like I don't have enough time during the day in general. And this is so different than when I was a kid. Like when I was in middle school or high school, like I remember just being bored a lot, and my mom would remember like these days. She's like, "Hey, remember when you were a kid? You would always say you're bored." And I was like, "Man, I wish I like had that time back." But I think everybody always say that, right? When you're older, you're like, "Oh shit, I wish I had that time and use that time more wisely when I was younger." But like nowadays, I don't even watch TV that much. Like I wake up, I go to work, I go to the gym, I cook, I eat, and then sometimes I go to open mics, and here and there I'll read. Sometimes I'll read like financial reports and write my blog and kind of know what's going on in the market. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm really scattered, and sometimes I'll be able to do one thing, but I won't be able to do another. So this past week actually, I just like kind of thought to myself, what are the things that are most important to me, and I would go and do those things first. So at least I feel satisfied about certain things, certain goals, right? So right now, like my number one goal is obviously first priority is my job, and not only doing my job while I'm trying to make more money. So I've been taking some overtime shift. The crazy thing is once I started doing overtime, it seems like a lot of people want to do overtime. So now we're all kind of just jockeying for the same hours. But you know, if I ever want to buy a house, I need to make this money, and I'm gonna take this money and extra money and throw it directly into the stock market. So anyway, that's my first priority. My first priority is my work. Obviously, that didn't need to be said, but that's number one. And then every opportunity I get to do overtime, I'll do it if it's like a reasonable time, maybe like a Saturday or Sunday, which I've done already. I'll do that, and then after that is gonna be, you know, my I guess my fitness, but mostly I separate fitness between my diet and my gym time, because those go hand in hand. But obviously, I take some things more seriously than the others. But right after that, it would be right after my job would be the gym, which I've been doing very consistently, and I'm very happy about it. The thing about like going to the gym, once you start and you get into a habit, it feels weird when you don't go. So I mean, when I don't go, I feel like something's missing. Like I just like my whole day's kind of screwed up. So going to the gym for me right now is easy, and I just want to continue that trend. So that's like top of the priority. It's job, and then to the gym, and then third, even before diet, I would have to say like just to keep the friendships going. You know what I mean? Like make sure you have your social circle. Well, for me, make sure I have my social circle, still hang out with my friends. Like this past week, I was so tired. I didn't want to do anything. I was just like, I'm just going to go to the gym and eat steak every single day and get jacked out of my mind. But no, I was like, oh no, like, you know, making friends is hard. It's important to maintain these friendships. So I did, you know, I went out, saw a couple of comedy shows, went out to eat with my friends. It might be detrimental to my diet, but you know, it's probably better to see your friends when you can, especially because I only really like spend quality time with my friends maybe like once or twice a week, where we actually like have a meal or sit down and talk and have. So it's that, and then after that, I think it's. I don't know if I could put nutrition in there actually, because nutrition doesn't take any time. Like I just can't prioritize it, so I'll take nutrition off, and after my friendship, and that's when I put stand up, and that's kind of sad. Like I came out here in West Hollywood, and I want to do stand up comedy. I want to make it into the clubs. I want to make money doing it. I want people to say I'm good, but the truth is, like the time for me where I'm at right now, the time spent on stand up don't have very good returns. Like a lot of getting into shows is about the hang, about making friends, about just chilling late at night, and I'm like, and I don't know if I could do that because I'm older, I have a job, I need to go to the gym, you know. So this past 2 weeks I pulled back a little bit on comedy. which is kind of a bummer, right? Because like deep down a little bit, probably I was like, oh, I want to make it, but yeah, I'm still gonna do go out and do open mics, but I'm gonna I will prioritize other things. Meaning, in the past, sometimes I've gone to an open mic instead of the gym, and I don't think that's exactly the best use of my time. So I'm gonna still prioritize going to comedy and stuff like that. But if it's between going to the gym for a workout or hitting an open mic, I'm gonna go to the gym. And I think prioritizing that like makes me feel more comfortable with like I'm like less anxious about what I gotta do. Right? I'm like, all right, these are more important than these things. And then after comedy, I guess it's the podcast. It's my blog. The blog takes a long time to write because I have to do a lot of research. My brother says I need to do more citations, but what does he know? I actually really enjoy doing this podcast, but it is a lot of work, especially if I'm doing this alone. As you can see, I don't even know how good it is. Am I rambling? Are you guys still listening? But I genuinely like enjoy doing the podcast, especially if I have a guest. Like that makes it a lot easier and it goes by a lot faster, obviously, and have someone bounce off ideas and I'm listening and they're listening. I'm talking, they're talking. And I feel like whenever I have a good conversation with a guest, like people end up enjoying it. They message me, they're like, oh, that was a good one. That was a good one. I never get those with my solo podcast. So, but yeah, so that's an update in my life. Cute girl really recently told me she said I looked fit, and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And I wanted to tell her like, "You've never seen me naked," but I didn't. I didn't say that because that would be weird and kind of scary. But yeah, like I said, like maybe with clothes on, I look all right, but probably got like 50 pounds of fat to lose. If there's a way that I could just keep this frame and just be 230 pounds all muscle at 6 foot, that would be sweet. But we all know I would have to take steroids to do that, and I don't want to. Anyway, you guys, let's get into some finance stuff. 22 minutes in. Dude, the earnings have been crazy lately. Facebook had killer earnings, but their stock dropped like 10% right after their earnings because they anticipate spending billions and billions of dollars on AI. And I'm like, what do you want them to do? Like not spend the money on AI? AI is obviously the next thing. These language learning models, Chat GPT, et cetera, et cetera. It's the new thing. I feel like these AI things could start being people's assistants. Could be very helpful. Like if you need a direct answer something, or you need something, want to teach you something, like it's a really good thing to have. I've been using Google Gemini a lot recently, besides search, and I only can see myself using it more and more. So it's important that these big players need to get in, like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, whoever. Like I think there will be multiple winners in the AI sphere. You know what I mean? And it's likely it's going to be one of these big tech companies. You know, with the best LLMs. A lot of other companies had their earnings come out. The ones that I specifically followed: McDonald's, Starbucks, and Pepsi. And it seems to me across the board, customers are having price sensitivity. Like people are just no longer willing to pay these higher prices. Like McDonald's talked about bringing back cheaper items. Like they're trying to make like a $5 menu where it's a McDouble, fries, and a drink. And I'm like, dude, that is so expensive. Remember when the McDouble was only $1? Like who? I think these sell 2 McDoubles right now for like $4.50. You think someone will be like, "Oh, a McDouble, fries, and a drink for $5 is worth it?" They need to do some bigger cuts, dude. I'm a fan of McDonald's. I love McDonald's, but prices are crazy, dude. Yeah, so McDonald's, like, there's price sensitivity. They still had a great quarter, by the way. Their margins are high, but their multiples, their PEs are like super high. It's like high 20s, high 20s, and small 30s and the lower end of the 30s. I said early 30s, like I was talking about a person. And then Starbucks had like a crazy bad quarter. The CEO basically came out, was like, we're losing members. We can't. No one wants to buy our stuff anymore. What Starbucks used to be was like a premium product, so they thought people will always spend forever. But they're losing customers. Customers are spending less. There's fewer transactions per day. So Starbucks took a huge hit. I think they took like 25% huge hit. And I still think it's expensive. A lot of people are like, well, you should buy now. But that's the crazy thing. Like their price to earnings ratio is still higher than companies like Facebook and Google. Pepsi, same thing. Pepsi's been raising prices, but they could see like customers are starting to push back, so they're probably gonna have to lower prices. But yeah, I don't know. I still, at the end of the day, I still think software companies are still the place to invest if you're gonna pick individual stocks. It's just there's just so many levers that they could pull, like Facebook and Google. Their stuff could just their stuff could just run on its own, technically speaking, right? And we saw this with Twitter when Elon first bought Twitter. He just fired like 50% of the people, and then Twitter ran fine. And I think the other tech companies saw that, and a lot of them are just starting to cut back on employees. They're doing layoffs, which is sad for the employees, but for investors, it's pretty smooth. You know, they always have that the margins for software companies are so high, right? Because Facebook and Google are mostly just code. And then you really just got to code something one time and you could use it over and over and over again, right? So that's why they're making billions and billions of dollars in a quarter. And then other companies, people think are good, like Pepsi and McDonald's and Starbucks, it's actually not that good. Like their margins are smaller. McDonald's pretty high, but like Starbucks margins are like low single digits. You know what I mean? And you can't just fire people. You know what I mean? Like you need people to stock the shelves. You need people to work the cashier. You need people to make the coffee. You need people to run the drive-through. You need people to flip the burgers, right? Every store you have, you need people to work in it. And companies like McDonald's and Starbucks and Pepsi, which are very good companies, like they don't have the ability to just cut jobs, you know what I mean, to make their margins go higher. If anything, they get pressured all the time. Like employees always make more and more money. And right now, Starbucks, they're having a bad time. Their stores are starting to unionize. And that's just worse news for the company and for the shareholders. It's good for the employees, I mean. But yeah, I still love software. I think if you're going to invest in individual stocks, and if you're thinking about, like, should I get McDonald's? Should I get Pepsi? Should I get Facebook or Google? Like, get Facebook and Google. They print money. They have high margins. And during tough times, they could just cut their workforce and things will run just as smoothly. Like, you won't even notice. Whereas McDonald's, you can't, right? They have to keep raising prices and raising costs. So that's what I think. Uranium. I'm gonna end with uranium, of course. One of my favorite investments for the last couple of years. I actually wrote a blog about this on DorianTrong.com. You should definitely read it. Earnings came out. Cameco's earnings came out. They had a one-time charge for like $2 billion. So like their earnings went down by a lot, but I think it should rebound by the end of this year. The charge off is from buying Westinghouse, a uranium power plant maker, that they had to like basically pay off their loans for that or something like that. Anyway, their contract book is still kind of crap. You know, they're making like $50 a pound of uranium, while uranium is at $80, $90 a pound on the spot market. But that doesn't really matter because we're talking about long-term contracts, right? So I think Cameco still have a long way to go. The Congress just passed the uranium ban from Russia. Russia provides maybe 25% of all uranium to the U.S. and I think in about a week, Joe Biden will have to sign into law if they're going to ban uranium or not. And if they're going to ban uranium from Russia, the price of uranium is going to go up. A lot of people are going to sign longer contracts, bigger contracts from places like Cameco to secure their pounds of uranium going forward, knowing that this ban is coming and they need these pounds. Like they can't just shut off their power plant, right? And that's what I like about uranium. I'm still in it. I actually just bought more shares on a different. I just bought more shares of a different company called a Peninsula, which is a U.S. based miner. The liquidity sucks. I tried to get $10,000 worth of shares, and I was only able to get $8,000. It's gonna be hard to sell when I finally sell because there's just not that many shares floating around. You know what I mean? But yeah, I still like uranium. I think the price of spot uranium could probably hit $150, $200, probably sometime in 2024. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's very likely. I won't be surprised at all. If the price of uranium drops for whatever reason, or if these companies such as Cameco, the bigger ones, drop by a lot, it's a buying opportunity. And that's what I did. It dropped like 20% a couple months back, and I bought more Cameco, and I wish I just bought even more so I could be rich. But yeah, I think uranium is going to be very important for like a long time. It might be a trajectory of at least to 2030 because a lot of mines are coming out, but a lot of miners, MINERs, are starting to mine pounds of uranium, and depending on how many pounds are coming into the market, that might be the end of the bull market at 2030 when everybody's up and running and there's too much supply, then it might come down. But I think at the rate of how many countries are restarting their nuclear power plants, how many people are building nuclear power plants, that the price of uranium might be elevated for longer, maybe even like 10 years, maybe to 2035, 2040. So I'm holding it until I hear otherwise. Obviously, I wanted to have that huge spike now so I could sell off and possibly be a millionaire. Probably never going to happen. Not because I don't think the price can go up that much. It's just that I don't own that many shares. But yeah, uranium is fine. The junior miners are kind of scary. They might not produce any pounds at all. But if I had to pick two companies, that would be Cameco, CCJ, and Sprott Uranium Trust, which it just tracks the price of physical uranium, SRUUF. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. It's been 33 minutes. I hope it wasn't too boring with like the whole fitness comedy thing in the beginning, and then this part, the finance part. I hope it's not too boring. Thank you guys for listening. Happy Mother's Day. I'm gonna be more consistent. I'm gonna try to. I mean, let's be real. I don't know if I'm gonna be consistent or not, but I will definitely try to. Thank you guys for listening. I love you. Peace out. Goodbye.